First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Weatherman, we can't allow any further delay.
All right, it looks like we are live. Welcome to episode 159 of the Fox 12 Weather Podcast. I'm Fox 12 meteorologist Katie Suniga, joined by our chief, Mark Nelson. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
And I think this is the first time we podcasted together, Camila, that I could say meteorologist Camila Ortiz.
Hello. Good morning.
That's right.
I know it's been for a little while now, but I don't think we podcasted together where I got the opportunity to say that.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I had to capitalize on it because that was a big deal for me when I hit that milestone.
It's
so
cool. That's very cool.
It is.
Give you props and all the work that you went through, you know, having a baby and all that kind of stuff. Going through it. It's pretty awesome. So, all right. So here's what we have for you today, the lineup. We're going to do just kind of like a weekly/monthly recap of what we've had so far in October. We're going to talk about the rainy season beginning, and I have some statistics to go through for you so you can kind of see that we're not just making that up when we say it. It says rumblings at Mount Rainier. So if you're watching this live as we are recording it, you're actually going to have to just take that as a teaser because that's going to be put together with our podcast and actually aired on Fox 12 Now on Friday. And then the Fox 12 Weather Podcast, or what are you calling it, Mark?
The 7 p.m. weather we're doing streaming on the streaming app. That is the First Alert Weather Extra.
Okay, so
extra.
First Alert Weather Extras on weeknights at 7. So those are the two times if you want to hear. I met up with an OMSI specialist about seismic activity and things that have been happening at Rainier and how that compares to Helens. And so we talk about 12 minutes about what's been going on and how that compares and what that means for the region. And then we have a term of the week and, of course, your viewer photos. So without further ado, Mark, I'm going to let you take on this one since you're some of these graphics. Just tell me when to move on.
Yeah, we can sure do that. This is just the last 30 days here. You know, we had the last 80-degree day. What was that? Around the 27th of September. And then we were close. Actually, a decent chunk of the metro area hit 80 on, what was it, around October 6th?
7th. It was the 7th, yep.
And that was it. That was the last time we got to 80. Or 79, depending on your location. You can just see the downward trend. By the way, the red, if you're new to our little podcast here, the red is the average high PDX. The blue is the average low. And what a drop there from late September to now, the last month. But we're running, I mean, if you average all that together, it seems pretty close to average. We were warmer than average in September. And October is actually, I believe, it's slightly cooler than average. Maybe that's coming up on the graphic. I think you have the low temp graphic.
I do. But this is what I thought we'd look at the average.
Yeah, the average high is, it's dropping off a cliff, folks.
Sure is.
Wow, especially the second half of October. Not only does the rain chance go way up, which we got that too, but also just the temperature, the average high goes from around 71 on October 1st to 58 in 9 days.
Oh boy.
Off a cliff. And we had those really warm nights as we saw, especially the latter half of summer. And then the below average nights have kind of crept in with the sunshine. You know what? I think we can go to the next one, Katie, because that references rain, right? Mm-hmm. So I had somebody ask, and maybe it was on one of these weather groups, somebody said, has it been drier than normal this fall? Seems like it's been drier than normal, but I think the deal is we've had brief periods of decent rain, and then we've had lots of sunshine. I mean, the sun is out again. I've got sunshine out here. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it just seems like it's been a little more continental this fall, slightly, instead of a marine climate, oceanic climate.
Yeah, I didn't bring in, I was going to, but since you had this graphic with the past temperatures last 30 days, it's for the average lows for the month, or average temperatures for the month when you take the daytime and the overnights, we're only a degree from normal on the colder side. So
slightly
just
under.
like slightly under and definitely slightly drier for now.
Yeah.
It's been nice, the crisp mornings. Do you know what the running community calls this time of year?
What?
Gold?
Shorts and long sleeve running weather. It's just perfect. Because in the Pacific Northwest, you can wear shorts year round. But
yeah, mostly you're right. If it's 40 degrees, you can easily wear shorts if you're moving and getting warm.
You're running.
Yeah, it's the best.
I've shoveled snow in shorts before. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Nebraska.
Oh yeah.
Textbook.
Bend. Clearly, we're talking about Bend weather.
Yeah,
Right.
I did. I shoveled snow in shorts. I went out and I had all my snow gear on and I had a little blower and I had a little shovel and I was working on it and I was sweating. I took everything off. I was down to a long sleeve shirt and shorts. I was so hot. So
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
Dang.
Yeah.
And you can see the rainfall. We're running about average. Oh, I'm sorry. No. We're a little below average.
We're a little below average for all the areas.
I think we're going to make up for that. I'm not concerned at all looking at the
Yeah.
maps.
Yeah.
The charts.
So
Look
if
at
you're listening,
Astoria.
we have like a 4-city graphic here: Portland, Salem, Eugene, and Astoria.
You know, something about that graphic irritates me.
What's that?
And I think this threw me off on air. I think the current, like right now, should be on the left side of each of those, and the average should be on the right.
Well, when you
Oh.
animate the graphic, it goes through and it says normal and it shows all the normal, and then you click the button and then it says, and here's where we are.
Is
So
it just my brain works different because I want to see?
You wanna see where we
It should
are?
be where we are right now. How does that compare to normal?
That's
But
fair.
I think that's just a way, you know, we're each little machines running around the planet, and I think my brain just works, as you two know, a little differently. Maybe
I think it works either way.
Yeah.
I would agree, but I don't like it.
Well, fix it.
That's a lot of work, so we'll just leave it as it is. I'd rather complain about it every month.
Oh my God.
This is what they have to put up with, folks.
Okay, and then here's your.
Is there one more?
This
Oh
is-
yeah, we fell off the cliff temperature-wise, but we're climbing the mountain for rain. Look at that. Look at that change from October 15th to November 1st. We
So
are
is it
pretty
fair
much
to
in the
say-
wet season now. Oh,
At this point, we're pretty much in that 50-50, right?
yep.
Rain versus dry. Yeah.
Any one day, there's a 50-50 chance for rain, which is pretty darn high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
All right. So I couldn't help it. I had to sprinkle a little Katie's Climate Corner.
Oh yeah, we were looking forward to that. This
Yeah.
the CKC or the
KCC.
KCC.
Or K.
No, not
Yeah,
KKK.
no,
it's
no.
KCC.
Yeah.
Gosh.
KCC. Yes, we got to be careful. Okay, so on average, Portland's rainfall triples from September to November. So I found this graphic this morning. I have so much fun looking this stuff up. It's insane. I get giddy about this. So this breaks it up into periods: 1931 to 60, 41 to 70,
Oh.
51 to 80, 61 to 90, 71 to 2000, 81 to 2010, and then 1991 to 20. So each of those 30-year periods, you know, we always talk about the 30-year averages.
Mhm.
Well, here's what we have. So if you look at September, on average, back to 1931, 1.63 was the average. It fluctuated down, it went up, it went down, and now September's average in 91 to 2020 is inch and a half. And then if you go to November, the average goes from 1931, 1960, 5.33 inches to now 1991 to 2020, 5.45. So we've gone up in our winter, start toward winter rain. And then the yearly average has actually gone down, the 30-year average. So back in the 1930s, it was 37.18, and now we're at 36.92. So this pattern happens every year, this shift from fall into winter, that September to November, when that jet stream shifts and the storm track shifts south.
I got a comment on that,
Yeah,
as
you'll go.
always.
Yes, of course you
Yeah.
do.
If big picture, over all these decades, the yearly average is only goes up. There is no trend really in our precipitation, whether rain or snow, melted. I mean, just look at you go back almost 100 years, 37, 37, 37, 36, 37, 36, 37. And even by month, there's only minor changes. Yeah, September maybe I don't know, a little drier. But
December went down by almost an inch. So in
Yeah,
31,
I was going to say, maybe you can see it the most in December.
Oh yeah, maybe. Sure, I'll give you that.
December's
little
the
bit
biggest
drier.
change.
And I thought April looks wet. Is April a little wetter?
little,
April's
not
at the
quite.
high end, but still, they're all within an inch of each other. There's no dramatic like, oh my gosh, it's getting surprisingly wetter, or it's getting much drier than it used to be. That is not the case. In fact, I was looking for more of a trend in summer, but I sure don't see it there either.
Yeah. I think where we would see big changes is if we had this for temperatures.
I'll
Yeah,
look for
that's where we
that for
would see the
next
change.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I had so much fun. And this is all this information that I'm getting is from the National Weather Service and NOAA. So just a disclaimer there, just so you know. All right. Airport totals, normals and extremes. This is for the precipitation, wettest, driest years. And you can see the snowfall. It's basically obviously nothing through the summer, traces in November, but just I had to throw this in there. When you look at the wettest ever in January, all the way down to December, 15.25 inches in 2015 in December.
Boy, that was a bad one. So many
Ooh.
mudslides, lots of mudslides.
That was crazy.
Am I
I mean,
getting-
just, man.
I feel old because about half of those on the wettest and the driest years on each month, about half of those are within my career.
Oh my!
Oh, that's sad. Like, oh yeah, I remember 93 was really dry in September. There was an 85 January, right? Well, there it is. 0.06, it hardly rained.
Uh-huh.
That's why we keep you around, Mark. You can pull these dates out of your brain just out of thin air.
I will retire the day that all of these are within that lifetime.
I remember every single one of
Everyone.
these years.
Look at
All
63
right.
inches in 96. That was an amazing 63 inches of rain at PDX in 96
That's
for the year.
wild.
Approaching double. But that was because of the flood in February and then flooding again in November and December.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember that, as I think I told you guys before, at that point in time, my dad was the water superintendent in Salem. And boy, was his life that year just busy.
Wild.
We'll call it that. It was
Yeah.
busy. So looks like we have a comment that came in. Mark, did you see that?
Right. I see it. From Brian. Can you
Yeah.
make that? I do not have control. You can make that appear. It appears that I
How do
cannot
I
make
do
it.
that?
Oh, wait.
Show on stream.
Yep.
There you go.
There we
Watch
go.
out. Watch out what you show on stream. Oh, look at that. That's Brian. He's right. Airport data started in the late 1940. Is there a 1939 record in there? If so, there should not be.
Well, there's a record. So we did it this one. See, it went
He's
back
right.
to
Yeah.
31.
Oh,
So-
yeah. Oh, I don't know
Oh, yeah.
what's up
So
with
how
that.
how do we get that?
Oh, I see. They only basically that's like a 20-year record instead of 30
Mhm.
years.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
He is correct.
Okay. So here we are.
Oh
This
boy.
is our, getting
Tucking
into,
in now.
yeah.
Here we
So
go.
this is today, right? That's what I did. Yeah, tonight.
We're recording this midday Thursday.
Yep.
Right.
So this is today around 11 a.m. Oh, 24-hour jump.
So midday Friday. Do you have any comments on that? Because I do.
Go for it. Take it away.
So when we're talking synoptic maps here, that's exciting.
Mhm.
Very weak area of low pressure. There's basically overhead. There's an atmospheric river.
Mhm.
So a lot of moisture at the surface. It's relatively weak. And tomorrow, that's not a big wind producing pattern for us. But Saturday looks far more interesting. Still not a big low, but you've got there's a surface low up northern part of Vancouver Island, but there's like kind of a southerly part, a secondary low that seems to want to form much closer to the coastline. Do you have one for later Saturday, or is it just midday Saturday?
I
There
did
we go.
midday each day.
Midday
This is
Sunday.
midday
But
Sunday.
if you could back up one, I want to hit the backup arrow, but I don't
Yeah.
have control. What a control freak! So if you were to go to Saturday afternoon, then
Well,
you can see
this is
go
about
ahead.
midday. I think
Yeah,
you did
but in
around
the-
the same time.
in the after. See how the isobars are
Mhm.
they're oriented like.
Mhm.
Wait, yeah, like that. I think that'll be right. They go totally east and west, and there's a rush of wind up the valley Saturday afternoon. And I counted, most models seem to be between 10 and 14 millibars.
Mm-hmm.
Several of them, like the Wharf, yeah, okay. The GFS and the GEM both have 13 or 14 millibars from Olympia down to Eugene. And an old rule of thumb, which works pretty well before we had really good models. If you have 14 millibars, times it by 3.2, and that gives you a gust over 40. Times it by 3.2, the gradient,
Mm-hmm.
Eugene
okay.
up to Olympia.
Interesting.
So when I see 13 times 3, that's 39 plus something. So it's going to be maybe gusts in the 40s. That's pretty good for us for having leaves on the trees. you know?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to be interested in what you see when you come in today, because everything this morning, and I'm finding this is a pretty common trend now that I've been on the morning shift for about a year, is the morning runs always back off. And then you get the evening runs and they like strengthen. So everything I was seeing this morning dropped the rain down to about 1.25 inches for the whole weekend. And
Wow.
it dropped the gusts down into the 20s through the valleys for Friday.
tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
not
Like,
for Saturday.
not, well, it's, I was just looking through like the first part of it. I didn't keep going all the way, but right now, everything this morning, it was pretty backed off.
Well,
for
the Euro
tomorrow.
ensemble is still showing averages around 40. That
Was it
ensemble has been
for
consistent
Saturday?
for many runs for Saturday afternoon.
Ugh.
And if you look at I can't share it right now because we're sharing this image, but I have the Wharf GFS for tomorrow afternoon, and it's pretty impressive. I mean, I mean, impressive for the end of October.
It's
no bomb cyclone.
No far.
It's no bomb cyclone 942 millibars coming up to the Astoria harbor. No.
Well, then you can see that one. Look how much they split up, and there's just not much. There's just
Sunday
lots.
looks kind of uneventful, just a breeze.
Yep.
And also tomorrow just doesn't. Speaking of short term, so we have first alert weather days for tomorrow and Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I got to say, if we did not already have a first alert weather day for tomorrow, I don't think we'd do it. Because the wind is, like you said, tomorrow's like 15, gust 25. No big deal. We've seen that. And the rain is backed off. It seems like most models have a half inch or less now tomorrow, spread over through the afternoon and evening. So it's like, it's going to be a sloppy evening commute, but that's it for tomorrow. I think the wind on Saturday is a bigger issue that could impact more people.
Yeah. And then I figured I'd go ahead and bring this in just because of when you look at the progression of that dropping down and then flattening out, it kind of matches the seasonal precipitation outlook that Oregon and Washington, November, December, January, right now we're saying will be leaning toward above in that 40 to 50% chance. So not super strong above, but definitely above average in the precipitation. And then here's my little climate corner. So during the summer, the North Pacific High acts like it's a big dry shield. Sometimes we call it the blocking high. It's over the Pacific Northwest, and it keeps our skies mostly clear. But as we head into the fall, that high weakens, and the Aleutian low, the low pressure system near Alaska, starts to take over. So if you're watching, I have a graphic here that shows the North Pacific High and the Aleutian low, and January versus July, and that's when that shift happens and everything starts to drop in. So it's that storm door, letting that rain and everything roll in. So if you feel like that steady ray returns in October, it's not just a fluke. It's actually the seasonal shift that we see.
The low in the North Atlantic, which is similar to the Aleutian low, it's the Icelandic low. You like that?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Icelandic low. I like to say Icelandic.
Is that a fun word for you?
Yep.
All right. Here we go. Your anomalies in motion. Ones they work together on timing at first. And then when they reset, they're off because the GFS goes a little longer.
How many days? So we're looking at...
It goes all the way through the...
the first week in November.
Mm-hmm.
So...
But do you notice... Let me see. I'm going to go back and see if I can get it to time out. If you watch it this first run... Oh, nope, they're off. Can't do anything about it. Sorry.
What is going on? I'm getting sick, Katie. It's like being on a ride at the fair.
I feel like I'm in a club right now. There's flashing lights going on in different directions.
So both of them, if you start them off at the same, they both show that same low that we were looking at on the, what's it called? This one.
The Aleutian.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. That. And then if you notice, they both get into being higher than normal heights. Like there's the beginning where you see it moves across, and then here we go, it builds in, and from that point all the way through the first week, we stay at the above normal heights. Like neither one.
I'm
of them
seeing
show
that
anything.
as well. Yeah, I'm seeing that as well. It's more or less the storminess seems to want to redevelop farther offshore.
Yeah.
As we go through into week 2, which is towards Halloween. That doesn't mean totally dry though, unless you get a sharp ridge, as you see here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, messy. Yeah, I had a couple people texting me about, is Halloween going to be dry? And then I pulled up this very thing on some of the member view and mean, and I was like, oh, that looks messy.
We are saying there's a chance, because look how many gaps there are next Friday. Yeah, Friday afternoon, Saturday. But notice there's also a peak in the outline. I can't point to it, but the outline members there next Friday, Saturday. Mm-hmm. Some are quite high, saying
here?
If the ridge is weak.
These right here?
Yeah. If the ridge is weak, and you see some big numbers up in there, if the ridge is weak, and we could just have warmer than average and an atmospheric river over us and the kids get dumped on, or it's far enough north that we stay dry. Mm-hmm. There's no sign of a cold trough again after this weekend. That's pretty obvious. So for people holding on to their season pass, it's in my wallet right now, already ready to go for skiing. I don't see an early start. Yeah, it's exciting this weekend. And then probably a lot of that's going to melt by next weekend with the warmish week ahead. Now we're getting into inversion season, so we won't actually be that warm in the valleys, but it'll be pleasant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Brian's asking another question if you want to look at it.
You can go ahead and share it.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like we'll just have to, behind the scenes here, I bet we just have to come in as producers.
I
and then
know.
we have control. Dissolve the blob. Current deep low pressure systems. I don't think so. And actually, Brian, that blob is centered farther west than it was. Remember when it was right up against the coastline and 13, 14, 15. So it looks like they've dissolved it slightly, but there's a lot of warm water to the west. Oh, we should point out, how about that Matthew comment? Left. Do you see, can you share that Matthew one?
This one right here?
Yeah, that one. We had a group, Portland Weather Uncensored group. Photo. And yeah, we saw Matt down there. Wait, Matt, I think you won something.
Oh.
Did you win twice? I don't know. I think he won the weather sensor in the past.
Oh, nice.
So he'd like us to airbrush him into that photo.
There we go. So those are the ones we have. Okay. So then I pulled in the Euro and the GFS total precipitation all the way through next Wednesday, the 29th. And as expected, the Euro a little wetter, the GFS a little drier.
Right.
So we have, I can't see, it's too small for me, an inch, a little more than an inch on the GFS, and then a little more than 2 inches on the Euro. Okay. Oh, he says he won a calendar and he won the weather station about 10 years ago.
I remember it. That's been 10 years. I can't believe it. I remember he won at least twice in that one year. That was funny. And we're actually related, like cousins, mother, something.
Like a cousin, mother's twice removed, or however you say that.
Yep.
That's awesome. Okay, so I didn't change anything on the forecast this morning. I left it as is. So here's our 7-day forecast. Yeah, I think
Katie approved. Katie approved of the Mark forecast.
I don't tend to question Mark too often unless I see something I think is really off. I just leave it alone.
Because that rule was such an iron fist, forecast-wise.
If we were working together the night, I would ask more questions like, hey, I'm seeing this. Yeah. I did that a lot. But now in the mornings, I'm like, I'm not going to, unless I saw something like way crazy off, but I just leave it. Maybe send you a text and say, hey. But that's it. So the other thing I'm noticing, so we actually, we didn't get too much into this, did we? Did you bring, I actually didn't look into mountain snow stuff. Did you bring that into this? Are we talking much about that?
No, I guess we didn't. Oops.
You want to touch on that real quick?
Yeah, sure. It's going to snow. Looks like the snow level goes below the passes probably Saturday evening. Driving should be fine. It still looks like Saturday's fine. Snow in the passes.
Sunday is the snow day.
Yeah, I think Sunday's a snow day. And then it was looking last night, at least, I figured at most 10 inches at government camp, but it could be 2 feet higher up at Timberline and Meadows.
So
not enough to open ski areas. What?
How many people do you think? Oh, not. I was gonna say, how many people think are going to call in on Monday and go up to Timberline?
Well, won't be open.
I thought they stayed open all year long.
No, they closed once. Remember that snowfield in September? There was nothing left up there. They closed. You're right. When we were younger, Timberline typically would stay open the whole year, or just open or close for like 2 weeks in early October for maintenance. But yeah, they don't stay open the whole year anymore.
Tells you how often I go up there.
Yeah.
When do they typically reopen?
As soon as they can get snow. I'll tell you this. Here's a big deal. It's just like human beings. You know how everybody's all excited about Christmas leading up to it, and then, people 2 days later forget about Christmas, even though it's kind of the Christmas season. All right. But so everybody likes things leading up to it. So what I've noticed is there's huge demand to hit the slopes as soon as you can in November. Yeah. And then we get to late March and early April, and there's 120 inches of snow on the ground, and people are like, I'm over it. You know what I mean? So it's like ski areas set a date, like here's our opening date. No. They're going to open as soon as they can. If they have the workers and they have the snow, they're open.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So that ends our rainy season. Any other thoughts before we move on that one?
Nope.
All right.
This should be a good interview. I'm looking forward to this one.
Welcome, everybody, to the Fox 12 Now weather edition of the First Alert Weather. And we have some interesting and fun topics for you today. We're actually talking about some recent seismic activity on Mount Rainier. And so, of course, I had to tap into my friendships there at OMSI and bring in Jane Claire Karen to talk about exactly what's been going on. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today, Jane Claire. I appreciate it.
Hi, Katie. How's it going?
It's going great. I'm really excited to hear just kind of what's happening, what's going on right now.
Okay. Yeah. I love talking about volcanoes. Of all the geological things, those are my favorite things. So this is exciting for me as well.
Yeah. So give us an idea of what's going on.
So Mount Rainier has been rumbling a little. Well, the seismic network of seismographs that kind of monitor that volcano has been picking up on some shakes. When that happens, the seismographs are only registering anything that's making any kind of movement underground. They're very sensitive machines, and they'll pick up anything that happens, and it is up to the geoscientists to interpret those seismic signals. And there has been a very large seismic swarm of some shallow, weak earthquakes below Mount Rainier's peak.
So what does that mean for us? Is that something we should be, does that mean they're going to increase watching it more? Or is it just kind of we got your eye on you? Like, what does that mean as far as like the activity and what we should be watching for?
It's more like they've got their eye on it. It turns out that the seismic activity that has been causing the swarm is related to groundwater flowing through the really porous material that the volcano is built of. It's a stratovolcano, like pretty much all the other Cascade volcanoes. And so it's a collection of layers of ash and pumice and tephra and volcanic debris, which is very porous, and groundwater can percolate through that. There's sometimes fractures that the groundwater can move through, and it's movement. And sometimes it encounters some hot rocks and it moves around a little more. And that's what the seismic network is observing right now.
So why do scientists think that this activity has been from the groundwater?
The location of the earthquakes and the fact that it is a bit of a swarm, a lot of seismic signals have a really distinct pattern and design. And by those patterns, they can interpret what caused that movement. And in this case, it varies between like 1 mile and 3.5 miles below the peak. Mm-hmm. And that area is more impacted by the glaciers and the groundwater and any of that fluid, that the water that's moving through the top of the volcano, rather than deeper down in, say, a magma chamber. And that would have a very different type of seismic signature than groundwater movement.
So how is what happened at Rainier different than what happened at St. Helens in 2023?
Okay, so that is a little bit different. In 2023, Mount St. Helens had over 400 earthquakes, and they were actually deeper. Okay. They were between like 4 and 7 miles below the crater of Mount St. Helens. Mm-hmm. And that depth is a little bit deeper than like the groundwater would be moving. They suspect that that was magmatic movement. It's possible that the magma chamber is getting recharged a little bit. So it had a different depth and a different seismic signature than what Mount Rainier is displaying currently, or it was a few weeks ago.
Okay, so I'm understanding in general, if it's a little shallower, it's likely groundwater, and if it's a little deeper, it's likely more of a magma type of situation.
Yes, and it also depends on the seismic signature. I mean, different things will have a different seismic signature. Like if magma is actively moving through a volcanic neck on the way towards an imminent eruption, you get something called harmonic tremors. Have you ever like squeaked a wine glass, and it goes, hee, that kind of sound?
Yeah.
That's like a harmonic tremor. And it's just like the seismic interpretation of that molten material just pushing up through that volcanic neck. It's rock moving against molten rock.
So does that mean if it's a groundwater one, it's just kind of water settling and it's maybe not as much of something to watch as if it were a deeper, more magma caused one?
You're watching out for different things. The groundwater moving through the top of Mount Rainier is not indicative of an imminent eruption, but it is indicative of the fact that those rocks are loose. They are not solidly built together. And, slope failures can happen as a result of that. So that is something different to look out for. There's a number of hazards with volcanoes. Mm-hmm. It's not just eruption, it's the mud flows that come out, and it's the ash and the that impact our environment as well.
Yeah. Wow. That's really interesting. So what kind of hazards does Rainier have compared to St. Helens?
The biggest hazard associated with Mount Rainier is basically the lahars, the mud flows that come off of that massive glaciated volcano. I mean, Mount St. Helens is I think, the tallest of all the Cascade volcanoes, and it's like twice as big almost as Mount St. Helens itself. So it's a big volcano, and plus the population that lives around it is massive. You've got a lot of people that live in the cities and the suburbs around that, and a lot of those places are actually built on ancient lahar deposits, ancient mud flows. And if it flowed there once, it's probably going to flow there again.
So then what should people know that are living near these volcanoes know about the risks and hazards?
There's some hazard maps that can be looked at, like I think the USGS has some volcano hazard maps to kind of see if where you happen to live is actually in a potentially destructive path from some of those volcanic byproducts. I would suggest looking at those and seeing, and just paying attention to the hazard announcements that come out. There are, you could subscribe to their information very easily, and you can learn about that. And it's unlikely that these will erupt without any type of warning. Since Mount St. Helens erupted back in 1980, we speak volcano a little bit better than we did before that.
Yeah.
So we can understand it a little better.
What are the warning signs then that Rainier or maybe even Helens could like really wake up?
You would get more seismic signals and a different type of seismic signal, like those harmonic tremors that indicate material is moving up. You get different types of off-gassing. There's a lot of monitors there. If either of those volcanoes move like a millimeter, there's some satellites that monitor it. There's ground deformation. There's gases that will come off of the volcano. There's the seismic signatures of different types of volcanic activity. And they are watched very, very carefully. They take that very seriously. Sometimes some satellite imagery have noticed that prior to an eruption, a volcano that happens to be in a very lush green area actually greens up a little bit more before volcanic activity happens. It's the CO2 that's coming out, and the entire like greenery around the volcano, it's like a big green and gets greener. And they were noticing that within the last several years of some other types of volcanoes that had some imminent eruptions. They're starting to notice that maybe it greens up a little bit more.
So what have we learned from Helens or just past eruptions that, can help us toward watching Rainier or even Helens again now?
There's so much that was learned from the Mount St. Helens eruption 45 years ago. They have discovered how that eruption occurred and past evidence of other types of eruptions like that. They have studied the rocks and the geochemistry and the water chemistry and the gases that are still emanating from those volcanoes. They are interpreting it all the better just based on the 45 years of intense scientific scrutiny that Mount St. Helens has yielded. It's amazing that geologic process is happening within our human lifetime. And we're living in an age of information and technology that has not been around before. We have a very instrumented earth nowadays. We understand it all the better. And it has enabled scientists to monitor and detect and make predictions about what may be happening. Now, we can't still give you an accurate, okay, at 3:45, this thing's going to blow. It's not happening like that, but you can tell when things are becoming more active. Like Mount Pinatubo is a good example. After they witnessed and observed all the things around Mount St. Helens, they saw some similar activities around Mount Pinatubo and successfully evacuated over 10,000 residents.
Wow.
And they would have learned those lessons had Mount St. Helens not erupted when it did.
Do you know or have information about the eruption history, the difference between Helens and Rainier?
So they are both cascade volcanoes. They're both stratovolcanoes. They're both driven by a subduction zone that's coming, that is occurring off of our west coast. Because the subduction zone is off of our west coast, it fuels the volcanoes. There's 13 glaciated peaks that are considered volcanoes in the Cascade Range. And there are similarities with those types. It's a very thick magma under there, and it doesn't fountain and flow like you have in the Hawaiian volcano eruption. This magma is really thick, like 10,000 times thicker. This stuff does not flow, it blows. You get a different type of eruption from that.
So they have similarities and differences?
Yeah, there's similarities and differences. One is much bigger, one is a lot older. Mount Rainier is almost twice as large, and that vent started to erupt about 830 million years ago. And what you see, the upper part of Mount Rainier, is about 400 million years old. Mount St. Helens vent started up about 40,000 years ago. So it's much, much younger. It's also much more active. It's sort of like the hyperactive toddler of the volcanoes.
That's funny. So then how do scientists keep an eye on volcanoes like these? Like, what are they actively watching, and how do they keep an eye on them?
All the scientific instruments they have, the satellite monitoring, tilt surveys, and ground crews. There's a whole, army of scientists that are just really focused on that.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I want to thank the USGS for their amazing good work on this volcano monitoring program that they do. I'm in awe of what they can do and what they have done, and I'm really grateful for their work and their science.
Well, great. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's, it's one of those things I am super intrigued by, natural or science, things like this. Of course, I don't want anything to happen to people, but it's on my bucket list to see volcano do its thing. It's always fascinated me. So I appreciate you joining me today. And for those of you watching, thank you so much. Hopefully you learned something today and you piqued some interest. If you have any other topics that you'd like me to cover here on the weather segments on Fox 12 Now, just email it my way and I'll be sure to cover it for you sometime in our upcoming segments. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day.
Thank you.
I used to be doing these interviews in the mornings right after GDO, and we'd run them at 11, but now we're doing other things. So I'm really excited that I get to keep doing interviews like this, and we get to share them on our Fox Weather Extras in the evenings at 7. Things like this, just getting into geology and other things happening around our region, I think, because they impact our climate and our weather and everything. So I'm really thankful that OMSI has been making time for me on a regular basis to get these kind of interviews. So hopefully I'll have more to share with you, and hopefully you really enjoyed listening to what she had to say about Rainier and St. Helens and all the little rumblings that are going around and how that's impacted us over the years. So
good stuff.
Yes, very
Thanks,
good
Katie.
stuff. Yeah. All right. So now, Camila, I'm going to let you take over term of the week.
All right, let's talk about snow level. And Mark and I were kind of not bickering about this yet.
Oh, it was close to bickering. She said, "Who did this?"
I can hear it.
Here's the deal. So I was going through the podcast, and when I see a definition that's ripped directly just from the AI Google, I'm like, really?
What?
Like, we could do better. But it's fine. I mean, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So it says the snow level is the elevation at which snow falls rather than rain, also known as the rain snow line. Okay, so
Which
whole AI overview.
And I'll jump right in.
Yeah.
For us in the Pacific Northwest, that's not technically the definition we usually use. That's not
Right.
what we mean when we say snow level. Okay.
Right. Okay. So then, Mark, do you want to get into this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the one that grabbed this back. I think we
Okay.
did this as a term of the week in February. We'll probably do it twice a season at least. So this is just in White et al. 2002. They found the rain snow line was on average about 700 feet below the melting level. Okay. That's not only based on Doppler radars. We know that if it's going to be, think about this. It's going to be 32 degrees at 4,000 feet in a perfectly mixed atmosphere. You've got fat flakes that are coming down. All right. Even though it goes above 32 degrees for the next 1,000 feet, right? 3.6 per 1,000 feet temperature rise. So let's say it's 36 degrees. Those snowflakes survive quite a while, especially if they're big fat flakes, a lot of moisture in them. So you could get sticking snow below where it's actually 32 degrees, right? We have seen that in the past where it just dumps snow at 35 and it sticks at least for a while. Mm-hmm. So we consider snow level the lowest elevation at which we expect sticking snow. If we went with that other definition, sometimes you'd call like I've had a boss once, a GM once, she said to me, I don't know, 15 years ago, she goes, "You didn't say it was going to be snowing down to sea level." And I'm like, it was 38 degrees and there were snowflakes mixed in during the heavy shower. I don't consider that the snow level. Mm-hmm. So what we really care about and what affects any of our lives is if it sticks. Okay. So typically 500 to 1,500 feet below the freezing level. So We may have a freezing level forecast on our graphics and say the freezing level is at 5,000 feet. And then usually what we do is we switch when there's precipitation and say, okay, the snow level, the lowest elevation, we expect snow to stick because that's what we care about when we're driving on a road.
Yeah.
There you go. Rant. Finished.
Perfect.
And we left this in here. What is it? I don't even know what it says.
Oh, it's you just mentioned it. It's just differentiating between what's snow level versus freeze level. So if you see snow level in our like graphic with the cascade information, it means there's moisture around in order to produce possible snow. Whereas if it's dry, we put freeze level. That's
okay, new idea. Next time we do this as term of the week, I'm sure sometime in the winter, we're going to make our own 2 graphics and explain it.
Oh,
yeah, our own wording.
No
more AI.
No more Google.
We can't have AI taking our jobs. Oh, wait, it is taking jobs. Never mind. Oh, and I just had this. I use this product quite a bit. I know it's the NAM, but it's just since models are often pretty close on the snow level.
No, I'm just laughing at
comments.
This. Yeah, I have to share this one. This one's funny.
Hey,
we got 5 viewers.
We're doing the Lord's work here, Brian, okay? Come on now. Thank you. You're one of the nerds, Brian.
Oh, we know. And everybody's behaving really well. I'm surprised. So, okay, so this just shows, this is from last night's run. So the 72 hours would be Wednesday evening, Thursday, Friday, Saturday evening. And you can see the freezing level about 5,700. So you could conceivably get snow down to about 5,000 feet or so. So that would be the sticking. So I think we went with the snow level a Saturday evening going down to about 4,500, 4,000 feet. And that's when it would start sticking at government camp. And notice by Sunday morning, this was on last night's model, but it's got the freezing level of 38, which tells me Sunday morning, the snow could stick as low as 3,000 feet, let's say. We like to round it, or I do.
Yeah.
So just another way of showing the snow level. And here's one other way we can see it. We can see it on maps, charts. And this is the WRF GFS. Oh, I got to watch my time here. Yeah, WRF GFS. And this just shows visually the 5,000 foot freezing level by Sunday morning is down across the Oregon, which brings you snow down to 4,000 feet across a pretty wide swath of the state. Yeah. And of course, this is our pretty TV version. Oh, there's a stink bug. Get out of here.
You hear the slap.
Gosh, you live out in the woods and there's stink bugs everywhere. Okay, so the snow level just dipping. We base this on 850 millibar temperatures, which is temperature at 5,000, 4,000, 5,000 feet, and then we just convert it into a snow level. And you can see it goes below the passes. Same thing Saturday evening, and whatever falls between there and Monday afternoon should stick in as snow.
Yeah. So early Monday passes could be a little snowy, a little slushy.
Yes. Oh, wait, on early Sunday? No, I think it could be snow covered Sunday morning.
Early Monday.
Sure. Yeah, actually, slushy. Maybe snow covered. I would expect snow covered. Maybe.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
If there's still precipitation left, it should be. If it's at or below freezing, I think it'll actually be snow covered. And that's a pretty wide swath of time there that timberline could get sticking snow from Friday night through Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Your photos.
One more comment from Matt. He's right. Well, he says need a good freeze out there to kill those little.
Yeah.
We can say it. It's a podcast bastards. He means the stink bugs. It doesn't help though, Matt.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, he doesn't mean us, or it wasn't.
I'm sorry. I thought something else. I'm not going to say it because I want to keep my job.
It wasn't political. No, but Matt, you know what? I have those on the south side of the house, and they made it just fine through January 2024. So it's got to get like Central Oregon cold, I guess.
Oh, we lost 2. We're back to 5.
Oh shit!
I'll talk about the stink bugs.
Bug talk scared them off.
Yep.
Oh, so pretty.
Nice.
Right, this is pretty.
That's so
Mount
beautiful.
Jefferson. We've got some colorful fall foliage in the foreground. That's a gorgeous picture. Thank you, Kathy. Wow, this is a nice one too. Oh my goodness, the sunrises have been insane the last few days.
I haven't seen them, but I've been seeing the photos.
Yes.
Because Tyler Mode, I don't have his. He's a weather geek too, and Tyler Mode had some really nice red ones from the top of Larch Mountain.
Nice.
And we should thank Peyton. Peyton put this part of the little
okay.
A
podcast
double
together.
rainbow.
Oh,
Wow.
look at that.
So where's my phone? I saw that. I think that was the day I was out there.
In the Coast Range?
Yes. I'm trying to see what date that was. So I was driving over. Yes. Okay. So I have a different view of it. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you, but I saw that when I was over there. I don't know if I can.
You hold up your phone. Do it.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Kinda.
We can see
Yeah.
it. We can.
Oh yeah.
I thought that, I mean, hers is much more beautiful than mine because mine's half the road, but I saw that exact same, I bet you it's the same one because I tried to snap a picture of it. And then when I saw the viewer photo come in, I was like, oh, I'm so glad somebody got a better one than I did because look how
really
gorgeous
nice.
that is.
How did I miss that one? We need to use that one on TV.
We did. We used it in the morning.
Oh, I didn't
But
see it in the
you
evening. I missed it.
Yeah.
Was this taken from like a plane?
A drone. She had drone footage of it like
Oh, okay.
backing off and like moving away. It was
Really?
insane. It
Wow.
was so good.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Sarah did an incredible job with that one.
Wow.
Pretty easy to submit. Just go through our app, First Alert Weather app. Actually, you could have the news app as well, but if you just want weather only, First Alert Weather app. And then old style, sitting on my big laptop here, or my big PC here, you can hit kptv.com. I'm sorry, www.kptv.com.
/weather.
We used to say that always in the 90s. // I would actually say that within the last 10 or 12 years, I'd say / weather.
You don't actually have to type in the www.
Oh,
You just directly.
You don't?
No.
Go to your browser and you could just type in your.
why is
KPTV.com.
my head so big? Okay, there we go.
You
Do
do
you
have
see-
a big head.
Hey, I moved locations. We have a nice little Sheila. She's working on it still, but we have some. Oh, there's a pumpkin there. See?
Oh, that is nice.
That's great.
So last
wants-
night, Mark was like, "Yeah, having the bed in the background seemed kind of weird."
Especially when it wasn't made, like it was kind of messed up. That was a little
Yeah.
weird, awkward. So
Oh my gosh.
So that's it.
Oh.
That's all that we have for our podcast today. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us. Any final thoughts before we conclude? I've been watching comments, but I haven't seen any other ones to share. Just some talk going on the side
It's
there.
just some insider chatter.
Just some insider chatter. We
inside
made it to
jokes.
7. I'm very excited.
A lot of Leaf Talk. We want to thank the live folks for joining us as well.
Yeah. We'll be doing this
Yeah.
more often, I think, right?
Well, we're
think
trying to do it
so.
once a week.
Yeah.
Are you guys
Well,
going
but
to...
She's saying in the morning because we've got to do the 7 o'clock.
That's what I was going to say.
Extra.
Or are you just going to
Well-
live stream the podcast in lieu of the extra
TBD.
weather? Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a
Got to figure it out.
mixed thoughts. We got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Got
All
a lot
right.
of things to do. Got a lot of irons in the fire, as the old folks say.
All
Need to
right.
pull
Well,
one or two out.
I think
I'm
that's
done.
about
Sorry.
it for us. So we will thank you again, those of you who joined us on the live stream and those of you that are watching on Fox 12 now and then the Fox Weather Extras. So we appreciate you being with us. And please send us if you have anything you want us to cover, any topics, anything you want to know, want us to go more in depth on, please let us know. And we'll be happy to integrate that in for you so you can be a part of the podcast with us. Thanks so much. First, this person says they missed the first half, so we'll catch you on the podcast app. You got it. That's where it'll be. We'll play it again tomorrow at 11. Is that when they play it in the mornings, Mark, on Fridays?
No.
No? I thought they did.
No,
it
tomorrow's Thursday. Oh, no, today is Thursday.
Today's Thursday,
It'll
tomorrow.
play tomorrow at 2 p.m., I believe.
2 p.m. and then
on our Fox 12 Now app, and then at 7 p.m. on our streaming app. You can when we say streaming app, we mean you can get it on like I've got Netflix, Amazon, and whatever, Hulu, or whatever lined up, and you could also just pull up the Fox 12 app. It's in there.
it's. Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
There you go.
It's on the patio.
You just got a message from somebody. Oh, that was a private message.
yeah.
Is that your husband?
It's
It's a little dangerous to hold up the phone.
right at that time, too. Okay. So I think that's about it. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll hopefully catch you guys next time. Have a good weekend.
Please tell us about